The quantum alarm screamed through Aurora Prime's command center as the first Meridian warships materialized from hyperspace. Captain Alina Santos watched in horror as the massive vessels emerged from the void, their crystalline hulls refracting starlight like deadly prisms. The colony's defensive systems, thought to be state-of-the-art, seemed primitive compared to the approaching armada. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos erupting around her. The command center's holographic displays flickered with incoming data streams, painting a grim picture of their situation. 37 capital ships, Captain, Lieutenant Chen reported, his fingers dancing across the neural interface. Energy signatures unlike anything we've seen before. They're not even bothering to mask their approach. Alina's jaw tightened. Aurora Prime housed 50,000 civilians, scientists, engineers, and their families. The colony's public face was that of a research outpost studying xenobotany. The truth was far more valuable and far more dangerous. "Begin evacuation protocols," she ordered. "Priority 1 assets first." Her hand unconsciously touched the quantum cipher key hanging from her neck, the only link to Project Guardian, humanity's best-kept secret. The Meridian Empire had spent the last decade systematically expanding their territory, absorbing or destroying any civilization that refused to bow to their authority. They claimed to bring order and advancement to the galaxy, but their true nature was evident in the graveyard of worlds they left in their wake. As the evacuation ships launched from Aurora Prime's underground hangars, Alina initiated the classified protocols she had hoped never to use. Deep beneath the colony's surface, in chambers unknown even to most of the facility's staff, quantum computers began transmitting encrypted bursts of data through subspace channels that hadn't existed until moments ago. "Captain," Chen's voice cracked with urgency. "They're launching fighters. Hundreds of them." The first wave of Meridian energy weapons struck Aurora Prime's shields, transforming the protective barrier into a spectacular aurora of competing forces. The colony's defensive systems responded automatically, unleashing salvos of graviton torpedoes that scattered the incoming fighters like cosmic dust. But it wouldn't be enough. The Meridians hadn't become the galaxy's dominant force through brute strength alone. Their tactical brilliance was legendary. As if to prove this point, new signatures appeared on the tactical display, showing a second wave of ships emerging behind the colony. Alina's quantum cipher key pulsed with warmth against her chest. The transmission was complete. Status of the evacuation: 70% of Priority 1 assets secured, Chen reported. Civilian ships are at 40% capacity. We need at least 15 more minutes. Time they didn't have. The Meridian vessels were systematically dismantling their outer defenses, their weapons displaying an efficiency that seemed almost elegant in its destructive precision. Yet something felt wrong about this attack. The Meridians were known for their overwhelming force, not this calculated precision. "They're not trying to destroy us," Alina realized aloud. "This is a capture operation." Her blood ran cold as the implications set in. If the Meridians discovered what lay beneath Aurora Prime's surface, the balance of power in the galaxy would shift irreversibly. The quantum key pulsed again, this time with a response that made Alina's lips curl into a slight smile. "Lieutenant Chen, initiate Protocol Omega. Transmit my authorization. Santos 77 Delta Echo." Chen's eyes widened as his console displayed the classified protocol's details. "Captain, that would mean the destruction of every piece of research data and technology in this facility," Alina finished, along with a surprise for our friends up there. As Chen executed the commands, the facility's hidden systems came to life. Quantum drives spooled up, drawing enormous amounts of power from dimensional taps that defied conventional physics. The Meridians would find nothing of value here. Protocol Omega would ensure that. But Alina knew this was just the beginning. The quantum transmission she had sent would activate something far more significant than a mere self-destruct sequence. Throughout human space, in locations unknown even to most of Earth's government, Other quantum keys were now pulsing with the same urgency as hers. The Meridian Empire thought they had found an easy target, a simple research colony to add to their collection. They had no idea they had just stumbled upon the trigger that would reveal humanity's true capabilities. As the evacuation ships jumped to safety through carefully hidden hyperspace corridors, Alina allowed herself a moment of anticipation. Project Guardian was never meant to be merely defensive. For years, humanity had prepared for this moment, building technologies and weapons that pushed the boundaries of known science. The Meridians' arrogance in attacking Aurora Prime would prove to be their greatest mistake. Final evacuation ships away, Chen reported. Protocol Omega is ready. Alina nodded, her eyes fixed on the approaching Meridian fleet. Execute. Aurora Prime's surface erupted with blinding light as quantum detonations rippled through its structure. The Meridian ships closest to the colony found their shields failing as waves of impossible energy washed over them. In the chaos, they failed to notice the small command ship slipping away through a dimensional fold that shouldn't have existed. Standing on her command ship's bridge, Alina watched the sensor feeds as Aurora Prime collapsed in on itself, taking with it several Meridian vessels that had ventured too close. The quantum Zephyr key had ceased its pulsing, its task complete. Somewhere in the void between stars, humanity's hidden fleet was awakening, preparing to reveal itself to a galaxy that had gravely underestimated Earth's children. The real war was about to begin, and humanity was ready. The red dust of Mars swirled against the reinforced windows of Facility Zero, humanity's most advanced military installation. 3 kilometers beneath the planet's surface, in a chamber that didn't officially exist, Captain Alina Santos stood before the assembled leaders of Project Guardian. The quantum Zephyr key still hung from her neck, a reminder of everything they'd lost at Aurora Prime. The Meridians took the bait, she reported, her voice echoing in the vast circular chamber. They believe they destroy our research facility, but the real data was transmitted successfully. Admiral Sarah Chen, the project's commander, and Lieutenant Chen's mother, nodded from her position at the center of the circular table. Holographic displays shimmered between the assembled officers, showing real-time data from across human space. Atlas, give us a strategic overview. The chamber's air shimmed as the artificial intelligence manifested itself as a network of floating geometric patterns. Atlas wasn't just another military AI. It was the culmination of decades of quantum computing research and intelligence that existed partially outside normal spacetime. The Meridian Empire has deployed fleet elements to 3 other colonial systems, Atlas reported, its voice a harmonious blend of tones. Their attack pattern suggests they believe our technological capabilities are limited to conventional defense systems. They remain unaware of the existence of the Guardian fleet. Holographic representations of sleek vessels appeared above the table, ships unlike anything humanity had publicly revealed. Where Meridian vessels were crystalline and elegant, these were dark and angular, incorporating technologies that bent reality itself. How many ships are combat-ready? Admiral Chen asked, studying the projections. 712 capital ships, 1,500 support vessels. Atlas responded. All crews have completed quantum integration training. The dimensional fold drives are operating at optimal efficiency. Alina watched the reactions around the table. Some of the officers still seemed uncomfortable with the level of technology they'd achieved. Humanity had made exponential leaps in understanding physics, biology, and consciousness itself, all hidden from the galaxy's prying eyes. Show them the Meridian analysis, Alina requested. Atlas's geometric patterns shifted, displaying complex data streams about their adversaries. The Meridian Empire's technological advantage relies heavily on their crystalline computation matrices. Atlas explained. Their ships are essentially living computers, capable of adapting to conventional warfare tactics. However, they have a critical vulnerability. Their systems cannot process quantum-shifted reality states. Admiral Chen's expression hardened, which is exactly what our fleet specializes in. Captain Santos, Your experience at Aurora Prime confirms our simulations. Elena nodded, bringing up her own combat data. Their weapons were ineffective against our quantum-shifted evacuation ships. They literally couldn't see them, even when they were meters away. The chamber filled with murmurs of approval. Humanity had spent years perfecting technology that didn't just advance their capabilities. It fundamentally changed the rules of engagement. The Meridian's crystalline computers, for all their power, operated on principles that couldn't comprehend the dimensional manipulation humanity had mastered. "We're not just ready to defend ourselves," Admiral Chen declared, standing. "We're ready to take the fight to them. Atlas, show them Operation Stormbreak." The holographic display transformed into a detailed battle plan. Multiple fleet elements, striking simultaneously through dimensional folds, targeting key Meridian installations. The Empire had spread itself thin, believing they faced only scattered colonial resistance. "We strike in 36 hours, the Admiral continued. "Every ship, every crew member, every weapon we've developed in secret will be revealed at once." The Meridians believe they're hunting scattered prey. They don't realize they've walked into a trap decades in the making. Elena studied the battle plans, noting how each strike force would emerge from dimensional space at precisely calculated points. The Meridians' supposedly invincible fleets would find themselves caught between forces they couldn't properly detect or engage. "Captain Santos," Admiral Chen addressed her directly, "given your experience at Aurora Prime, I'm assigning you command of Strike Force Omega. Your target will be their primary fleet anchorage at Nexus Point." Elena's pulse quickened. Nexus Point was the heart of Meridian naval power in this sector of space. Taking it would not just be a military victory. It would be a psychological blow to an empire that believed itself untouchable. "Atlas, show us the Nexus Point approach vectors," she requested. The AI complied, displaying the complex gravitational fields and patrol patterns around the Meridian stronghold. As the officers discussed final preparations, Elena's mind returned to Aurora Prime. The Meridians had attacked believing they were crushing a simple research colony. Instead, they had triggered a response that would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. In the depths of Facility Zero, humanity's hidden fleet was coming alive. Quantum drives hummed to life, dimensional fold systems synchronized, and crews prepared for combat unlike anything the galaxy had seen. The time for hiding their true capabilities was over. The Meridian Empire was about to learn why humanity had been so patient, so careful in concealing their advances. They would learn that the species they dismissed as technological inferiors had surpassed them in ways they couldn't comprehend. As the briefing concluded, Elena touched her quantum Zephyr key once more. In 36 hours, everything would change. The galaxy would witness the true face of human ingenuity and determination, unleashed at last against those who thought to dominate them. The Shadow War was ending. The real battle for humanity's place in the galaxy was about to begin. Nexus Point hung in space like a crystalline spider's web, its massive defensive platforms glinting in the light of three suns. Captain Elena Santos stood on the bridge of the HSS Nemesis, watching through quantum-shifted sensors as Meridian ships moved through their patrol patterns, completely unaware of the human fleet waiting in dimensional fold space. "Strike Forces report ready," Lieutenant Commander Raj Patel announced from his tactical station. "Quantum synchronization at optimal levels." Elena nodded, feeling the subtle vibration of the Nemesis dimensional fold drive through the deck plates. Around her ship, hundreds of vessels waited in the space between spaces, their crews poised for the most ambitious military operation in human history. "Atlas, final analysis of Meridian defensive positions," she commanded. The AI's geometric patterns materialized beside her, displaying real-time data streams. "Meridian fleet elements are distributed according to standard doctrine," Atlas reported. "Their crystalline computational matrices are operating at typical efficiency. They remain unable to detect our quantum-shifted presence." Elena's hand touched the quantum Zephyr key that had become her constant companion. "Send the strike authorization. Execute Operation Stormbreak." Reality itself seemed to shudder as hundreds of human warships emerged from dimensional fold space. The Nemesis-led Strike Force Omega, materializing directly above Nexus Point's primary defense grid. For a crucial moment, the Meridian sensors registered nothing, their crystalline computers unable to process the quantum-shifted signatures of the human vessels. All ships, weapons-free, Alina commanded. Target their command and control nodes first. The first salvos from the human fleet weren't conventional weapons. They were concentrated bursts of quantum-shifted energy that bypassed Meridian shields completely. The crystalline vessels, beautiful in their alien geometry, began to shatter as their computational matrices failed to compensate for attacks that seemed to come from impossible vectors. Multiple Meridian capital ships attempting to engage, Paddle reported, his voice tense with excitement. Their weapons are passing through our quantum fields without effect. Alina allowed herself a small smile. Years of preparation and technological development were paying off. The Meridian's supposedly superior weapons were useless against ships that could partially exist outside normal spacetime. Second wave. Commence attack, she ordered. More human ships emerged from dimensional folds, their weapons targeting the now vulnerable Meridian fleet. The space around Nexus Point became a graveyard of crystalline fragments as ship after ship succumbed to weapons they couldn't defend against. Captain Atlas's geometric pattern pulsed with urgency, detecting unusual energy signatures from the central Nexus facility. The Meridians appear to be implementing emergency protocols. The massive space station at the heart of Nexus Point began to pulse with a strange purple-tinged light. Alina's tactical display showed energy readings spiking off the charts. All ships, pull back to safe distance, she commanded. Atlas, analysis. The Meridians are attempting to initiate some form of quantum resonance cascade, the AI reported. They appear to be willing to destroy their own facility rather than lose it. Alina's mind raced through the implications. They're trying to trigger a chain reaction that would collapse our quantum fields. Clever, but predictable. She opened a channel to all ships. Execute Contingency Protocol Delta. Shift quantum harmonics to secondary frequencies. The human fleet's dimensional drive signatures changed subtly, adapting to the new threat. The Meridian attempt to disrupt their quantum fields fizzled out, leaving their remaining ships even more vulnerable. Multiple Meridian vessels attempting emergency hyperspace jumps, Paddle reported. Should we pursue? Alina studied the tactical display. Negative. Let them run. They'll spread the word of what happened here. Atlas, begin data extraction from the Nexus facility's central cores. As the battle wound down, Alina received transmissions from other strike forces. Across Meridian space, the story was the same. Their fleets had been shattered by an enemy they couldn't effectively fight. The empire that had seemed invincible was reeling from attacks they couldn't understand. But something in the facility's data caught her attention. Atlas, what are you seeing in these encryption patterns? The AI's geometric form shifted, displaying complex data streams. The Meridian's research logs contain references to an ancient quantum technology they discovered but could never fully comprehend. Their entire empire appears to be built on partially understood principles. Alina's excitement turned to concern as she studied the data. The Meridians hadn't developed their crystalline technology. They had found it, remnants of something far older and more advanced. Their aggressive expansion wasn't just about empire building. They were searching for more pieces of this ancient puzzle. Send this data to Admiral Chen immediately, she ordered, and begin a deep scan of the facility. If the Meridians were studying ancient quantum technology here, we need to know everything about it. As her crew secured Nexus Point, Alina couldn't shake the feeling that this victory, as significant as it was, had unveiled something far more complex than a simple war between species. The Meridians' desperate attempt to destroy the facility suggested they were protecting secrets beyond mere military assets. Captain, Atlas interrupted her thoughts. I'm detecting unusual quantum resonance patterns throughout the facility. They appear to be responding to our presence in ways that suggest. Suggest what? That the ancient technology the Meridians found was waiting for someone who could truly understand it, someone with our level of quantum manipulation capability. Elena stared out at the crystalline structure of Nexus Point, now under human control. They had come to strike a decisive blow against an aggressive empire, but they might have stumbled upon something that would change their understanding of the galaxy itself. The war wasn't over, but its nature had just become far more complex than anyone had anticipated. Deep within Nexus Point's central research core, Captain Elena Santos watched as Atlas's geometric patterns danced through ancient holographic displays. The facility's crystalline walls pulsed with an inner light that seemed to respond to their presence, as if awakening from a long slumber. The quantum signatures are unlike anything in our databases, Atlas reported, its patterns shifting in complexity. The technology appears to operate on principles that transcend our current understanding of dimensional mechanics. Elena studied the scrolling data, her quantum cipher key resonating with the facility's energy field. What have you learned about the Meridians' research here? They were attempting to decode these systems for centuries. Atlas explained. Their crystalline technology is a crude approximation of what they found. They understood enough to create powerful weapons and ships, but the true potential of this technology remained locked to them. Admiral Chen's holographic form materialized beside them, her expression grave. Similar discoveries are being reported from other captured Meridian facilities. Their entire empire was built on borrowed power they never fully understood. The chamber's lights flickered as Atlas interfaced more deeply with the ancient systems. The Meridians' aggression wasn't simply about territorial expansion. They were desperately searching for more fragments of this technology, hoping to find the key to unlocking its full potential. Elena moved closer to a crystalline console that seemed to brighten at her approach. Why attack Earth's colonies? What were they hoping to find? According to their research logs, Atlas continued, they detected quantum resonance patterns in human DNA that suggested our species might have a natural affinity for this technology. The attack on Aurora Prime wasn't just about military dominance. They were trying to capture and study us. The implications sent a chill down Elena's spine. Humanity's rapid advancement in quantum physics and dimensional mechanics might not have been purely the result of scientific brilliance. Something in their very nature made them more attuned to these principles. Captain, Atlas's geometric form pulsed urgently. I'm detecting an encrypted quantum transmission. Origin point is impossible. It appears to be coming from within the facility's crystal matrix itself. The chamber's holographic displays suddenly erupted with new data streams, but these weren't Meridian in origin. The symbols and patterns were entirely alien, yet somehow familiar to Elena's eyes. This is a message, Atlas announced, its usual confident tone tinged with wonder. Left by the original creators of this technology, it's been waiting for someone capable of receiving it. Admiral Chen leaned forward, her holographic form flickering with tension. What does it say? It's not just a message, Elena realized, watching as the quantum cipher key around her neck began to pulse in sync with the facility's crystals. It's a warning. The message unfolded in their minds more than their eyes, conveying concepts that transcended simple language. Images of a vast, ancient conflict that had torn reality itself. A threat that had forced the original creators to hide their technology throughout the galaxy, waiting for species capable of using it responsibly. There's something coming, Elena whispered, understanding flooding through her. Something the ancient creators fought and barely survived against. The Meridians' blind use of this technology was like a beacon, drawing it back to our galaxy. Atlas's geometric patterns became more complex, processing the vast amount of data. The threat appears to be extra-dimensional in nature. The ancient creators developed this technology as a defense against entities that exist outside normal space-time. How long do we have? Admiral Chen demanded. Unknown, Atlas responded. But the message contains specifications for weapons and defenses far beyond anything we or the Meridians have achieved. With our understanding of quantum mechanics and dimensional manipulation, we might be able to prepare. Alina's mind raced with the implications. The war with the Meridian Empire suddenly seemed small compared to what they were facing. "We need to contact the Meridians," she declared, earning surprised looks from the others. "The empire that just tried to destroy us?" Admiral Chen asked skeptically. "They need to understand what they've done, what they've awakened," Alina explained. "Their crystalline technology, combined with our quantum manipulation capabilities, might be our only chance against what's coming." The facility's crystals pulsed brighter, as if approving of her conclusion. The ancient creators had left their technology scattered across the galaxy not as weapons to be fought over, but as tools to be united when the true threat returned. "Atlas, prepare a quantum transmission to the Meridian High Command," Alina ordered. "Include enough of this data to prove what we've discovered. They need to understand that our species' conflict is insignificant compared to what we're about to face." As the AI began its work, Alina stared at the flowing symbols of the ancient message. Humanity had emerged from its shadows of preparation into a much larger conflict than they had imagined. The question now wasn't whether they could defeat the Meridian Empire, but whether their species could set aside their differences in time to face a threat that had nearly destroyed the galaxy once before. The facility's crystals hummed with ancient power, waiting to be properly understood and utilized. The real war, Alina realized, was just beginning. And this time, survival would depend not on humanity's secret strengths alone, but on their ability to forge an alliance with their former enemies. The quantum cipher key pulsed one final time, and Alina understood. This had been the plan all along. The ancient creators hadn't hidden their technology to keep species apart, but to ensure that only those who could work together would have access to its full power. The void between galaxies rippled with impossible energies as the extra-dimensional entities began their incursion. Captain Alina Santos stood on the bridge of the HSS Nemesis, now modified with a hybrid of human quantum technology and Meridian crystalline systems. Beside her, the Meridian High Commander Vexera watched the sensor readings with his compound eyes narrowed in concentration. "The dimensional barriers are weakening faster than predicted," Vexera noted, his crystalline armor refracting the emergency lights. "They're stronger than even our ancient records suggested." Alina touched her quantum cipher key, which now pulsed in harmony with the Meridian crystals integrated throughout the ship. "Atlas, status of the combined fleet." The AI's geometric patterns merged with Meridian crystalline displays, creating a new form of interface that neither species had thought possible months ago. Human and Meridian vessels are in position. Quantum crystalline resonance at optimal levels. The weapon is ready. 3 months had passed since the revelation at Nexus Point. The Meridian Empire, faced with evidence of the approaching threat, had chosen survival over pride. Their greatest scientists worked alongside human quantum physicists, combining their technologies in ways that pushed the boundaries of possible. "Multiple breaches detected," Atlas announced. "Extra-dimensional entities emerging." They came like living tears in reality. Massive forms that hurt the mind to observe, existing partially in dimensions beyond normal space. The combined fleet's sensors could barely track them, even with their enhanced capabilities. "All ships, execute attack pattern Omega," Alina commanded. "Remember your training. Standard weapons are useless. Focus on the quantum crystalline convergence points." The human Meridian fleet moved with practiced precision. Ships that had fought each other months ago now operated in perfect synchronization, their crews linked through a network that merged quantum consciousness with crystalline clarity. The first entity attacked, reaching across dimensions with appendages that ignored conventional shields. But these weren't conventional ships anymore. The human vessels shifted through quantum states while Meridian crystals redirected the impossible energies, creating a defense that existed in multiple layers of reality simultaneously. "Primary weapon charging," Vexera reported. "Crystalline matrix stable." The weapon was a marvel of cooperation. Human quantum manipulation technology merged with Meridian crystalline focusing arrays, built according to specifications left by the ancient creators. A weapon designed to fight enemies that existed outside normal space. Multiple entities converging on our position, Atlas warned. They're learning, adapting to our defensive patterns. Elena gripped her command chair as reality buckled around them. They haven't seen everything yet. Execute Protocol Unity. Throughout the fleet, human quantum cipher keys activated in sequence, synchronizing with Meridian crystal networks. The energy buildup was visible across multiple dimensions, a power that neither species could have achieved alone. Weapon at full charge, Vexera announced. But our position is compromised. We won't survive to fire it. Elena smiled grimly. We're not supposed to fire it from here. She opened a channel to all ships. Begin the convergence. The combined fleet moved into a complex formation that defied traditional space combat tactics. Human ships shifted through quantum states while Meridian vessels channeled energy through their crystalline hulls. The space between them began to warp and fold. Convergence at 60%, Atlas reported. Entity attack patterns becoming more aggressive. Hull breaches reported on multiple ships. The entities seemed to sense what they were attempting, their attacks becoming more desperate. Reality itself groaned under the strain of their assault, but the fleet held formation, each crew fighting through the dimensional distortions. Convergence at 90%, Atlas announced. Point of no return approaching. Elena exchanged a look with Vexera. Their species had been enemies, but in these final moments, they understood each other perfectly. Complete the convergence, they commanded in unison. The fleet's formation collapsed inward, ships merging through quantum states while crystalline energy patterns aligned. In a fraction of a second, hundreds of vessels combined into a single point of light that existed in all dimensions simultaneously. The entities recoiled, recognizing too late the weapon that had defeated them eons ago. The point of light expanded, releasing a wave of quantum crystalline energy that rippled through every layer of reality. Where it touched the entities, they simply ceased to exist, their impossible forms erased from all dimensions. When the light faded, the combined fleet emerged in a new configuration. Human quantum technology and Meridian crystalline systems had merged permanently, creating vessels unlike anything either species had possessed before. The void between galaxies was empty once more, the extra-dimensional threat erased. Elena's quantum cipher key had merged with her ship's systems, becoming part of something greater. Throughout the fleet, humans and Meridians worked together at stations that blended both species' technologies and philosophies. The threat is eliminated, Atlas confirmed, its form now a permanent merger of quantum algorithms and crystalline matrices. But the changes to our ships, our technologies, they're irreversible. Not irreversible, Elena corrected, looking at Vexera. Evolutionary. The Meridian commander nodded in agreement. Our species fought because we were afraid of our differences. Now those very differences have saved us all. As the fleet regrouped for the journey home, Elena reflected on how far they had come. The humans had emerged from hiding, the Meridians had overcome their pride, and together they had faced a threat that neither could have survived alone. The ancient creators had hidden their technology not as a test, but as a template. Only species that could overcome their conflicts and truly work together would be able to unlock its full potential. In learning to fight together, humans and Meridians had become something new, guardians of a galaxy that would never again have to face such threats alone. The dawn of their new unity had come at a great cost, but as Elena looked out at the combined fleet, she knew it had been worth it. The future would bring new challenges, but they would face them together, stronger for having learned that their greatest power lay not in technology, but in the ability to overcome their differences and stand united.